going. Have a tweet now. We can retweet real quick. Successor. Copy. Retweet that, and then we send out the Discord notification. There we go. All right. Should be good. Audio should be good. Right. Let me double check that everything's up here. We're up on Twitch. Are we up on YouTube? Yes. Up on YouTube. Awesome. Then we'll give just a little. If I can type. Oh, that's got a 1 in it because I missed the exclamation mark. All right. So when we left off, we were working on this Intercessor and we completed him. He's all done. He looks great, I think. Really pops from a distance. His shoulder pad is the only thing that I'm kind of a little concerned about. I think we might put a dull gold there using Napster Yellow. All right, come on, camera. Right here. Focus in on this boy. Right on that shoulder there and make that pop a little more. And we'll probably go ahead and put some gold on this one too. Just make it a little bit of a dull gold. But first, I think we'll start with black. And try and get the black on this guy down. So that he matches all the rest. So yeah, just, you know, we continue to work on these Intercessors. I'm using a 20/0 brush. But for the finer details, I'll be using a 10/0. I don't know what any of these mean. I'm still learning quite a bit here. And for anybody who's new to the stream, welcome. We do a lot of different stuff on this channel, and one of those things that we do is painting miniatures, building miniatures. I'm still learning. I'm not very good. But I'm pretty happy with how my Blood Angels have turned out so far. And we're going to keep going with them until we have that whole kill team painted. I made a little bit of a mistake and got a little bit of black up there when I was trying to set up the new camera angle here, where you could see what I'm doing, though the camera's not wanting to autofocus to it very well, which is making things interesting. Also, I don't think I'm going to be able to do it like that. I think I'm going to have to bring it up closer to me to be able to see to paint it. The building streams have been really fun, and every Friday we alternate between building and painting. My hope being that this can be a place where you can come out while you do your painting or listen to while you're doing something else, you know? But as you can see here, we're getting some good work done on that shoulder. We're going to come back over it later with some gold to really make it pop. I have a grip, which I meant to get for this week's show and forgot in the other room. So we won't be using that grip today. All right, we got to be a little careful with the black because the black can overpower anything else if we're not. It'll wind up in places we don't really want it to be. But I like to have the black inside the backpack thrusters here. Get a little bit of that in there. Makes them pop a little more from the outside, you know? A bit. We may have to bring up the autofocus on cam 2. Right now it's set to autofocus, and that's making it not focus in right here. Really want it to. That's a little too much. There we go. Yeah, now you can see a lot more of the detail we're going for here. Bad and everything. All right, now I have these guys set where for my custom chapter, the Crimson Quietus, we have the eagle. The front is black. The joints are black. The belt is black, or the buckle anyway is black. The rest is not. And then any straps or anything like that on them are black. Because again, for anybody who doesn't know, my custom chapter of Blood Angels embraces the Black Rage, recognizes that they're all going to fall to it eventually. And so they adorn themselves with the color black to show that, to showcase that. Thankfully, this contrast paint kind of just flows into the wells you want it to. Especially because I'm a big-time perfectionist. I really want the model to be perfect, and it can't be. You know, it can't just be perfect. It doesn't work that way. We're not perfect as people, but I want it to be. Dang it, I want it to be perfect, you know? And so it leads me to making some dumb mistakes sometimes. Like that. There was too black on my brush, and I got a bit where I didn't want it. I'm making a lot of mistakes right now, and it's really bothering me. We're going to go back over that with some red later. Let's see if we can fix that, but I think we're going to change brushes. On this. Well, that might be my thinnest brush, though. That is my thinnest brush. Alright, well, we're going to go back to that brush. Hopefully this is riveting enough content for everybody. I feel like these painting streams are weird because they really are just, hey, I'm gonna paint. And they're hangout streams, right? So people can come hang out if they want to. Don't have to if they don't want to. I'll try and dab some of this extra clean here. We got some of it off that way. There's way too much red there. Or way too much black there, I mean. For that joint right there. But you can see how quickly it makes the joints pop. On his legs. Things like that. We're also going to get These black, please, and make these black. Here. The main goal just being we don't want any gray plastic if we can help it. Drop the model. Go. All right. Feel like I'm just scrunched up in the corner of my desk over here. Trying to make it look good. Double checking colors here. I'm gonna put just a little bit of black up here on the bolter head. To differentiate the top of the bolter from the bottom of the bolter. All right, that makes it pop a little more. It's just a very light coating of that. Okay, so I think we're done with the black for now. We're going to save touch-up red at the end. But I do have some touch-up red to do. And I'm going to do a little bit of touch-up Napster Yellow to our boy over here as well. To this guy that we're using as our... So. There. Right? What we're probably going to do in the future is we're going to take this camera, have it at an angle down where you can see more of what I'm doing as well. The hopeful goal being that eventually we have like a whole camera setup where you can see the model in focus no matter where it's at around here, you know? But first, I want to get all the gold on this model. So we're going to take Napster Yellow. We're going to get that purity seal right there. And then we're going to come back through. We're going to get the shoulder here. And I got a little bit on the jump pack again. That's going to be a very interesting looking jump pack when we're done. Doesn't need a lot of this Napster Yellow. Just needs enough that it stands out. Right there on the shoulder. And then we're going to take a little bit and run it over the wings. Because we want them to still be black. We want them to stand out a little. Specifically right there. And when it's done drying, it should look really nice. Should. Hopefully. All right, we also have the wing on the gun here. The bolter. We're just going to lightly get some of this Napster Yellow. There we go. Then we have another shoulder to do. Again, hopefully this is working the way I want it to, where I'm all bunched up in this corner where you can see what I'm doing. Hopefully you'll be able to see these models come to life. We'll need some touch-up red there too. I'm making a lot of mistakes as I get used to this new camera setup. Not that I don't make a lot of mistakes anyway. Now we need to get the inside. Oh, and cauldron. All right, there we go. And we're going to go ahead before we put up our gold, Napster Yellow. Go ahead and get wings right here. One more time. Just help give them a little bit more shine there inside that bowl. Okay. Now, we have options. We can go to the Lupus Pink for the Purity Seal. We could do Warp Lightning for the eyes. We could do some touch-up red. Blood Angels red. Or we could go ahead and do the Snakebite leather. If we did the Snakebite leather next, that would bring all those big gray spots to bear. So it would look a little bit better. So we'll probably do that. I got asked one time, what would you do if you're streaming to no one? What if no one was watching, no one was talking? Well, you keep streaming. The only option. Don't stop. If you have a dream, you don't stop that dream just because things stop going your way, right? Just because you have a situation where things, for at least a little while, may not be going perfectly, right? You don't quit. You quit. What good was your dream? Isn't that why we call it dreams? I do see a spot where we're going to do some Basilicanum Gray that I missed before. Although it is the handle for a pistol, so I guess technically it could be Snakebite leather too. It is the grip. Put a little bit of Basilicanum Gray on the very end there. Right? This pouch. The other reason not to just, get super quiet and focused and to make sure that I keep talking, and it's kind of reminding myself this too, is even if we don't have anybody in the chat right now, there's still going to be a YouTube group after this that'll be watching, Can't just let them down either. Even though I'm making a lot of mistakes and I almost feel like I am letting everybody. Let me do a little bit more zoom on this, actually. You can see working on this. I just got a bit of paint on that here. That's not coming out. Okay, that's fine. All right, we need to get the belt here. A little bit more. Okay, we need to get the belt here. And then on this side, we need to get the side of the holster here for the pistol. All right. Now you can see snakebite leather just makes that look wonderful and vibrant and brilliant, and it just looks great. I'm gonna get the purity seal too. I like to, even though I already did it in Napster Yellow, I like to come back over it with just a little bit of snakebite leather because it makes it look just a little bit older, which is kind of what the look I want for my purity seals. I want them to be a little bit tattered, a little bit ancient, you know? All right, so we need some touch-up Basilicata Gray. We need some touch-up Blood Angels Red. We still need to do the Warp Lightning, and we still need to do the... Missing something else. What is it? Oh, the Lupus Pink. That's right. No worries. It's going well. Got this camera zoomed in and focused now so people can actually see the painting aspect of it. Probably going to wind up taking this other camera that's on me normally and moving it to be either a top-down view or a view from the other side. Take a little bit of this Lupus Pink. Just a smidge. We don't need much at all. Put it on our wet palette. Right there. And then I take the purity seal right here and just dab it in there. Now that we have that pink, we come back through with our touch-up red and get all that gray around it and make that look wonderful and amazing. And from a distance, he looks done already. He's not, but he looks done. We have a lot more we need to do with him still, but it's all touch-up, which means that we are actually pretty close to finishing. Let's go ahead and get the eyes with Warp Lightning. For anybody who's like, well, why does he keep saying the name of his paints? It's in case you want to do the same color at home. All right, so now for the eyes. This part is going to be tough. Okay, let me get this just right. Because the helmet looks great, and we don't want to mess up that red. Still a little wet. A bit too much Warp Lightning. Dab that back. We do some touch up with Blood Angels Red, but some quick dabbing can save you a lot of trouble on the touch up. Okay, so I'm gonna bring him in close here where you can see what we did wrong. As you can see there's extra green around the edges of the eyes, but it wasn't too bad. We should be able to fix that with this Blood Angels Red. So let's do our touch-up on the Basilicata Gray. And then we'll finish this boy up with some red, Blood Angels Red touch-up. And then we'll get started on our next guy. Everybody who asks, hey, why are you using contrast paint instead of base paint and then layer paint? I like contrast paints more because they let me paint a little bit faster. I make quite a few mistakes, and I'm going to make those mistakes whether I'm using contrast paint or whether I'm using base and layer paint. I'm going to put a little bit of Basilicata Gray right here. And just a smidge right there. And that lets you see the pistol that's been put in there. The snakebite leather for the grip. And then the actual pistol right there. And then while we have the gray, I want to do just a touch of gray on his chain right there at the top of his metal. And I think we're pretty much good here. Cover a little bit of that extra red. All right. Now, speaking of red, it's time to finish this boy off. That is quite all right. Yeah. One of my big goals with these, as I've said, is for people to be able to drop in and out, to be able to go back and watch it later. Rub labels. Or to be able to do just to relax, you know? Maybe you're painting, maybe you're playing a game, maybe you're building. This is just hanging out, having a good time, painting some minis. All right, so first let's get that purity seal. You don't want to put the red over the pink. There we go. Perfect. Okay, now we need to touch up. So right here at the groin, I messed up a lot. There's a lot of black there. It doesn't need to be that way. We're going to come back over all that in red, and we're going to do it in a pretty heavy coat of red. Because once you have the black on there, you kind of have to. Haha. And that's what I was talking about earlier. When you make a mistake, you can fix it if you're careful enough. The coloring on this camera is kind of... Let me turn off the low light compensation, see if that helps. Not really. I'm going to have to get another light directly behind this camera. There was one, but it's broken. But that fixes that problem pretty much completely, which is great. And then we missed a little bit on the inside of his arm here with our red. So we fixed that now. And then we just need to touch up on the eyes here. Very carefully. Perfect. I'm so pleased with how that worked out. And again, like I was saying earlier, if you make a mistake, you can fix it. It's not actually impossible to fix your mistakes. You just got to be patient. Don't rush to fix them. Take your time, and you can fix them. Now, there's just one last thing we got to do to fix this guy, and then he's done. Actually, while I have just a little bit of wet red on my brush, I want to go back and get this blood drop one more time. I wanted it specifically while it was wet because I wanted it to well over into the side of it that I got a little too much black on. There we go. All right, one last thing we got to fix on this guy, and then he's done. Start our next boy. That is at the bottom of the purity seal. I missed a little bit of leather right there. There we go. He's done. We'll do a video on one of these at one point on making bases because I have no idea how to do that yet, and I have to learn to do the base stuff. But we have 2 of our regular intercessors for our assault intercessors, or for our intercessors kill team completed. All right, so let's start on the 3rd. I think we do Knife Boy next. Knife Boy seems fun. And then after Knife Boy, we'll do Grenadier. And then after him, we'll do the Sergeant. And then the Intercessor kill team will be done. But I think Knife Boy would be next with his spiky pauldron. Now, as we do with all these, we're going to start with red. Because red is the primary color. I recommend every time, if you're going to paint, start with the primary color. Because you can be really liberal with it, and it makes it really easy to start. You get a good base without having to worry about doing too much of the finer details at once. And then when you're done setting the primary color, you can just come back through and put more. Like I said, we're just going to be really liberal with this Blood Angels red here. This is a contrast paint, which means it goes straight onto primer. Just like so. We're not going to worry about it being too wet, really. Put it on the palette, and we're just going to go with it. Because we want it to seep into all the holes here. We don't want to be able to see gray coming back out of it. We want to be able to look at this mini and see red. Blood Angels red. That was way too much I just put on there. We're going to have to spread that to other parts of it, or it's going to glob up there and look terrible. Thankfully, contrast paints remain wet for a good little bit, so you can steal from spots you've already finished painting to get the rest of it. But see how glossy that is right now? We don't want that. We want it to seep in, but we don't want it to be too wet. So I guess I learned my own lesson about talking about how it doesn't matter how wet it is. That's why we have a wet palette, so we don't make mistakes like that. Red is the primary color and also a primary color? Yeah. That's very true. Alright, still a little glossy, so I'm going to take my paper and I'm just going to dab it because it's a little too glossy. We can always put more paint, but you can't take paint back off easily. There we go. And we got a little bit of the paper towel on there, which is unfortunate, but we can fix it by just going right back over it again with thin layer of that Blood Angels. I want to do something really special for his spikes too. I've never tried it before, so we tried it for the first time today. But I want to take some of that Black Templar Black and just dab the spikes with it. Either that or the Basilicanum Gray. We might do the gray, just to make the spikes stand out a little more. They don't blend it much with the red pauldron that we've given him. I actually kind of wanted that pauldron to be black, but all of my other intercessors have red for the left pauldron, or for the right pauldron. So it needs to be red to match all the rest of them. But, you know, what can you do? Alright. Now see, this looks really good. We're going to put just a little more on here. And then we're going to say the backpack is done. And you can't even tell that we messed up on it. It's still a little glossy, but when you compare these, once it dries, it should be exactly the same, which is great. You can recover from just about any mistake as long as you're careful. That's one thing I really like about painting minis is you can fix your mistakes as long as you're careful. We also don't have to worry about too much getting red all over the eagle on the chest, because we're going to go back over it with that Black Templar Black, which eats all that red up. I'm not just going to splash it. I'm still going to try and, you know, work its way through, but When I was a kid, red was my favorite color. And it was completely, as I'm sure Rundgren will understand, because Optimus Prime was red. Then I had a little while where green was my favorite color. Eventually, I settled on gray as my favorite color. And yet, when it came time to make my own custom chapter of Space Marines, it was the Blood Angels that captivated me so. This pod of Blood Angels red is starting to get old dry. I have 2 more pods. I bought 1 pot of all the other colors and 3 pots of Blood Angels red because I knew how much of it I would be using. I also just got it all over my hand. My girlfriend's going to come by when she gets off work and going to think I have blood on my hand. I'm going to say, no, it's just Blood Angels. All right, and again, we want it just a little wet so that it bleeds into everything here. But we don't want it so wet that we can't come back through later with other colors and put in our highlights. Like here, I've messed up a little bit again, and I have filled in that eye on the right side with the Blood Angels red, which is going to make that warp lightning look a little weird. But I also kind of want to leave that eye red for him and just have him one eye that works, because I kind of like the idea of that. I'm an eye patch kind of guy. So, as you can see, we're starting to get some color here. Would be great if this light worked and you could have a lot more color here. This is probably a mistake, but I'm going to try and turn this light on real quick. I don't think it's going to work, but we're going to try. It did not work. That's what I expected. This light is broken. Oh well. Back to... Turn that up a little bit. Okay. Now, let's get back to his chest. I have another light that I will install next week. It just is a little difficult to see some of the darker colors here, because of the way that everything works out. And I want people to be able to see, obviously. That's a pretty important part of this. So I'll install that other light before next week. Got a little red on that scabbard. Okay. That's okay. Alright. So we have most of that upper torso now. So we will get just the edge over here. And then we'll go ahead and get the legs, I think, before we move to the arms. Because again, the legs we can kind of just slather. They go pretty quick. I love the contrast paint because I love watching it fill in the wells instead of having to use a wash. Washes for itself. I also love the contrast paints because I don't have to thin them, and I'm afraid I would thin them poorly. All right, that's one leg done. We still got to get the knees, but that's the leg itself done. They are no longer a part of the channel, Chive Turkey. Simply put, we had a falling out, a disagreement, and we're not hanging out anymore. They left of their own choosing. I didn't kick them off or anything. And, you know, everybody's got the right to do that. Oh, I appreciate it, man. It is what it is, you know. Unfortunately, people won't always get along, you know. Unfortunately. Honestly, I'm more than anything, I'm surprised it's taken this long to get that question in the chat. I don't mean to sound callous about it, just I expected that question a long time ago. I got a little bit of red just then on the purity seal. The pink will cover it up. No, it is a part of life. Just as we must meet people, we must also, you know, separate from people sometimes. Yeah, you were the first one to ask in the chat. I've had a couple people like message me on Twitter and stuff, but you were the first one to ask in the chat. I realized that I've moved a little bit to the... it's been a lot longer than that. It's been almost a year. It is life, you know? It is life. House of the Dragon, man, I haven't even watched House of the Dragon. I don't know if I'm gonna. I'm so torn on that franchise. You know? I just want him to finish the books so I can know how it ends, because I did not like that TV ending at all. Got a little red. I'm getting a little reckless here because I want to try and finish this guy in time. And I honestly think I can if I hurry. So I'm getting a little reckless and making some mistakes. I need to just slow down and realize if I don't finish him this week, we'll finish him next week. It's crazy to me that it's taken like 45 minutes per model, roughly, which is honestly not too bad for the level of detail that I'm trying to get out of these guys. I remember we used to talk Game of Thrones every day at work. Theories and trying to figure out where things were going to go. I'm realizing now the level of detail I want to do with this guy on his shoulder. And I'm not going to finish him in time today. There is no way. Man, if this guy isn't cool. I love, too, how you put just a little bit of work in with that red, getting the base down. And, like, how much it pops once you just have that base color down, you know? I wonder if there's people that play at tabletops with models that are just this, you know? That are just, hey, I didn't do any of the others, I just did the base color and that's it. I bet there are. No shame to you if that's what you do. It just, you know. Want more. I gotta get more stuff in there color-wise. I can't just have the base color and call it good. Alright, let's go ahead and try to get the black done. We might actually, while we have this, let's get a different brush and try to get the warp lightning. Guys. Yeah, that end was rough. Thrones ending is one of the worst endings I can think of in anything ever. Alright, we have to be very delicate here, chat. I'm going to get a little bit more of this off of this brush. So there's barely any left. Dab it. Oh my gosh, that's perfect. That's the best work I've ever done. I'm a genius. That is the best eye painting I have ever done in my life. There is no smearing. There is no welling. That is perfect. I am a genius. Alright, I'm now confident that I know how to paint minis. I know what I'm doing now. Only about 19 minis deep now. I know what I'm doing now. I am a champion. Well... yeah, that's just inviting destruction, right? Time to become an artist? This is when I abandon all my other dreams and say that I'll be an artist now? And no, not happening. The extent of my painting goes to minis. All right. I used a different brush so I could keep the red in case I needed to fix up the eyes, but I don't need to. That's actually really good. I'm so proud of that. Dun, 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 dun. All right, let's just touch up a little bit of this real quick. All right, let's switch to the black. The Black Templar. Well. I can't show the brand for that either, right? Because Games Workshop didn't pay me for it. Man, the ad law is so weird. I actually have to show the brand because I need the lines that are in the back to be able to clean my brushes off correct. The right way. I have this playlist set to be just about an hour. So it should just let me know. Let's get the Black Templar in here. Thin it out a little bit there. All right, and then we're just gonna brush was still a little wet. We're gonna need some touch-up red for sure this time because I made a little bit of a mistake there. I got a little cocky because of good that eye went. All right, so now we do the chest. There's still some touch-up red next to chest. You can just make out some gray there where I missed getting some red. Now we do the belt buckle. Then we're going to get the deals here. For the joints. There's definitely some spots I missed with the red that I can see now that are pretty prominent. That's what I get for trying to rush it, I guess. Just realized I'm swallowing this mic, so I'm probably breathing into your ears. And we're going to get the inside of the vents here. Busters. I missed so many spots. We're going to have to come back over with red. Oh, well, that was a mistake. Okay. All that should pop. Now I want to take just a little bit of this black. Very, very carefully. Daub those spikes. There we go. Makes them stand out just a little bit more from a distance. Because they're not just red anymore. Now they've got a little bit of black on them. We definitely have a lot of touch-up work to do here. But that's okay. It's about making it look good, not just getting it done. Okay, so we're done with the black for now. I think next we do the gray. Then we can do gold. Gray. And again, for anybody who's like, man, why is that so unfocused in the distance? So that we can focus in real close on everything up here. Okay. Just as before, we get the bolter. Void the eagle on the gun. Then we get this half of the bolter and we avoid the finger. Where does this fall under your guidelines when it comes to weapons, YouTube? Love to know. Do, do, do. Dun, 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 dun. All right, that's the gun done. We have a single pipe right here that I want to get. Gray, there we go. And then a grenade right here that we need to get. Basilicanum Gray. That's our Basilicanum Gray done. Next. Oh, wait. I forgot the knife. Haha. That's the whole point of this guy. Get it? Point of this guy? Oh, I know. I know. I'm the most clever guy on YouTube. All my jokes are funny and everyone loves them, right? Not according to YouTube themselves. Ho. Right. I can definitely feel myself getting faster at it, though, as we go. Last week, we got half of the Space Marine done. This week, we've already finished that other half and are almost done with this guy, honestly. Next up is the Napster Yellow. This is our gold. Goes on the pauldron. Way too wide a sweep. I don't know what I was thinking there. It's just getting excited because we're doing so well. Just as before, we're going to put just a little bit of that on the wings, so they pop in a distance. Put a little bit on the purity seal. There. I think we might actually have to touch up a little bit of black on this guy too. But we'll see. That's all. Well, nope. That's not all we need the yellow for. We need it for the eagle on the gun too. Trail song means that we're almost at time. But we should have enough time to finish this guy. We're so close to being done with him. Next is the snakebite leather. Dun, dun, dun. Dun, 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 dun. All right. Pistol. I'm going to need just a touch of Basilicanum Gray right there, too. I forgot about it when I was painting before. Sheath for sword. The knife. The knife boy. Back in the belt. Getting up to the side of the belt buckle there can be difficult when you don't have a lot of space. Alright. Then we finish up the brown on the purity seal with the snakebite leather, make it look a little older. Really make it pop. Okay. So now we need to do pink for the purity seal, and then we just need to do touch up. And I see a spot touch up for black, 2 spots for gray, and quite a few for our red. Okay. That's our pink touched up. From a distance, this guy probably already looks done. But I don't want him to just be from a distance done. I want him to look good up close too. So we're going to do our gray. touch-up we need for the gray is the back of the pistol right here. Need to make that gray. Go. Makes that pop just a little bit more. Right. Okay. Push that out. Now the black. The back of the leg needs a touch up. Right here. Pour that black out of there. Way too much. Okay, we'll fix it with the red in a minute. We need to fix the shoulder right here. A little bit too much gold got in there. Alright, now all that's left is the red. See one spot for snakebite leather. I'm going to fix real quick while I still have some snakebite leather on my wet palette. Right there. This water is about ready to be changed too. About to get a lot more red. All right, let's finish this guy off with a little bit more of Blood Angels red. We're going to dilute it a little bit. And then we need to get the blood drop. There we go. Then we got to finish up a couple of these spots that I missed and that got red because of mistakes. Like right here. And right here. And right there. Then we get this last little bit of his torso we missed before. Around the spikes. Fix this part of the backpack. Dun, 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 dun. Right, I messed up just a smidge there. We'll fix that before we wrap up with some snakebite leather. But other than that, this guy is just about done. Put a little bit more red right here to cover up this black spot. And then I want to get in between these just a bit more where that black weld. So it is just the tip of the spike that stands out. Man, am I happy with how he looks. Yeah, if not for that little mistake just then with the leather, we'd be done. This guy looks great. Okay. Let's clean off our brush. Get a little bit of snakebite leather and then wrap this guy up in a bow. Make him look all nice and beautiful. Oh, that's a great idea I just had. At some point, we should do... At some point, I'll paint some models for a giveaway or something. I just thought about it with wrapping them up like a present. Yeah, at some point, I'll do some models for a giveaway. On here. We'll build a gunpla. I guess you want to build it yourself, but... We'll build a gunpla and paint some models for a giveaway. At some point in the future. Alright, let's wrap this up. Snakebite leather. fix this belt. Dilute it a little more right here, where I painted over the belt in red. See, one last touch-up spot in red. I feel like this is all I do, is just keep touching them up over and over again. Perfect. He's done. I'll get that light installed behind the camera before next week for the painting stream. Thank you, sir. So, over the course of our painting stream so far, 2 weeks, we have painted 3 boys right here. And if we take a good look at him, this guy was our first one. He's definitely the roughest of the 3. You can see a little bit more fading in of other colors, but I'm still really happy with how he turned out. This boy we finished off today. Pretty happy with how he turned out, though I definitely still have a couple of mistakes I made with him. This boy that we just finished, I'm actually really happy with. I think he looks great. So, next week we'll be back to finish the Barbados 6th form. I don't see why we wouldn't be able to finish him next week. We have basically nothing left to do. We just have to take out the legs and the weapons. So he should be done next week. And then the week after that, we will work on our last 2 intercessors for our kill team. And then we'll have a full, I'm going to move this, we'll have a full set of assault intercessors and a full set of regular intercessors for a big kill team. And we've got the custodies painted already, so, you know, a kill team can be recorded there. And then after that, when we go to paint, we'll probably continue working on the Thousand Sun, since I have an Aspiring Sorcerer already done. But until next time, I've been Trey. This has been the Full Spectrum. Thanks, everybody, for hanging out. And remember to always enjoy the full spectrum. The painting has to